because I worked in the NHS for 34 years and most of those were clinical, I have to say I have hundreds. And I was thinking about this, what would be ethical to share, as well as what would be interesting to hear. And I'd just like to, I've chosen one story because I guess for me, I've absolutely loved every moment of my NHS career. And I really do think it's a fabulous career. Whatever we hear about it in the press, I really do recommend working for the NHS. Yeah. So I was working in paediatrics in the early 90s. And in paediatrics, actually, you would be shocked by how badly children and their parents were treated relative to today. Parents were not welcome. I mean, it was, they were given a chair by the bed if their child was really ill. There was no sort of facilities for parents, and they were not really that welcome. And children were expected to behave perfectly. And this was a real so there was no accommodation, no adaptation to a child's own particular needs. And this meant that in the radiotherapy department of the hospital where I was working, children who were having radiotherapy would be anaesthetized every single day for their 6 weeks of cancer treatment. Because the machines for radiotherapy are so enormous, and the devices to hold the limb or the head still, were quite scary. Children were naturally, fearful and distressed and would cry. So the choice was made to anesthetize them every single day. And you can imagine what the level of disruption that had to their family life, their schooling, their nutrition. I mean, having to starve for a general anesthetic, and the cost to the hospital. I showed that, and I took it one patient at a time, I showed that if you played with children in the radiotherapy room with teddies and dolls and allowed them to get a sense of how the machine worked and where mum and dad would be standing, and what it was like for the teddy bear to lie still and then to practice lying still themselves, I showed that children could lie still without any need for any general anesthetic. And today, that is the standard practice that for all paediatric services. There's time now built into treatment plans so that children have a chance to play and to learn at the pace that works for them, so they can go through radiotherapy treatment without the need for a general anesthetic or other, restrictions.